we want to welcome in a familiar face, a man of passion, and a force of nature in TD Garden. Welcome to the show, Chest Bump Guy.
My name is Carl Lenhart, and I'm from Indiana and California, and I just am usually referred to as the chest pump guy, plus some other names too we'll talk about maybe because of influence of KG on me, because that's what he did. And so just glad to be talking to you, lucky to be here. And can talk a little bit about so much that's a part of what the Celtics mean to me.
Right on. Excellent. I'm so glad to be here with you too. This is, you know, as we were chatting about a minute ago, yesterday was supposed to be Fan Appreciation Day. And that's usually, that's my favorite game of the season. And so, you know, I'm so glad that we get to still have this interaction since we missed out on yesterday. And just really excited to get to catch up with you.
Yes.
Yes. So real quick, just for the folks at home to give a little bit more background on you. How long have you been a super fan, or actually, I guess more to the point, how long have you been a season ticket member? You know, I mean, that's something I don't think everybody knows is you're a season ticket holder. You're not just a guy that shows up to the games.
Yeah. Well, it's, I guess it's, I moved here from Indiana in '98, started going to some games then. And I think I can really say I became a STM, season ticket member, about 2008 with the championship year.
Oh, you picked a good season.
It's been growing on me, and it's really weird because all that time, all those games I was attending, I never got on the jumbotron screen until May 2008, and that gave me a chance to be thinking about, you know, if they ever show me on that screen, what am I going to do? Well, I didn't wear what I got on now. I didn't wear the jersey and the jacket. That kind of evolved during that year. And then, so playoff time in May, I got this on. This is what I got on. Okay. All right. And influenced by KG, the chest bump, what he goes through, I saw that ritual and the, bumping the head on the stanchion for the goalpost, and the perspiration on that. Hey, it's getting serious. You know, there's no smiles.
No,
it's all. This is war. You know, and it goes to the media table and they dries the hands with the powder, the white cloud of dust, and then it goes to the center, the logo center of the court, does the fist bump with players, and then the magic. He comes up to us. He comes to the fans, and he does this. He does that chest bump, and I go, man, this guy is telling us two things. He's telling us that his whole heart and soul goes into this game, and to me, he was saying, you are part of this game. You know, Absolutely. You are needed in this war. So I got so excited, you know, at that, and the rest of the game, you got that pump going. And so this is May 2008, and I finally get on the jumbotron, and I'm like this, and I do the chest bump. The fans go nuts. I did the right thing, evidently. And John Mitchell, the coordinator of the jumbotron, he told me later. He said, when we hit you and you did that, we got a winner, is what he said, you know, and they started, they doubled the screen, they showed it more than once, and the fans that's what started it. And I have been, it just seems like what a wonderful, wonderful experience is happening now that I had never encountered before. And so that spirit, that excitement, that inspiration, that Celtic spirit got really inaugurated then, and I still got it. And I hope to bring it every game I go to, Lucky. So that's
incredible. I mean, you've got me fired up right now. Like my blood's pumping a little bit. Like you got the adrenaline going. You're so great at capturing that energy in words, and you know, it's just it's really, really great to just, like you've got me in game mode right now. Like, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
My next question was going to be, why are you so passionate about the Celtics? But I guess you just answered that as well. But before coming to Boston, was there any tie to the team before that? You said you were from Indiana. So was there kind of a tie to Bird before that, or was really your move to Boston when you became a Celtics fan?
Let's go back to when I was a young kid. Early 50s in Indianapolis. I'm it's a basketball state. You grow up with the basketball in your hands. And I'm in elementary school, and they're showing, they're having over the intercom, the local high school, Manual High School, it's playoff games. You're in school, and you're hearing the game. This is 54, and I'm in sixth grade. And that's the year of the little school of Milan. You see this in the movie Hoosiers. The little school of Milan down in southern Indiana, playing this big school, Muncie Central Bearcats. It's a school of about 2,500 students, and Milan's about 200. Okay. And so, we're all us guys. We're just crazy about this game. And the hero was Bobby Plump. And he hits this basket, wins the game. And everything you see in that movie Hoosiers, I was there when that was going on, And I get so excited about that. And this love of basketball I had, it gets translated into, I'm watching on black and white TV, the best team in the world, and to me at that time, and that was the Boston Celtics. And my player, number 14, little guy, because I'm little guy, number 14, Bob Cousy,
Hardwood Houdini.
Auerbach, the coach. And then this is what I'm seeing. And the squeaky tennis shoes, the parquet floor. That was music. And so I'm watching this and getting so excited about it. And I remember later on reading about the last game of Cousy. And it gets quiet in the stands and the garden. And we love you, Coos, is what I said. Love you, Coos. And that is getting at the heart, I think, of the feeling you have about the Celtics. It's love, man. It's love. You cannot express it any other way. I go and I'm around fans at a game. Wow. And we just have an immediate care for each other. So anyway, I get so enamored of the Boston Celtics when I'm just a kid. And then my parents moved to California, Southern California, Orange County in 56. And I am a diehard Celtics fan still. And Lakers weren't there yet. They were in Minnesota. They come out there though. And I pay attention to Elgin Baylor and Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain, Gail Goodrich. And I remember watching on TV, UCLA with John Wooden winning all those championships. And Pauley Pavilion would hardly be filled. It's not basketball country, And in my high school, Western High School in Anaheim, I go to my first basketball game, 3:00 in the afternoon. There's nobody in the stands, So California was a football culture.
Gotcha.
So I had this love for basketball from Indiana and the Boston Celtics. And so then moved back to Indiana and teach there for a while. And then my wife is from Germany. And she said, Boston is very much like Europe, reminds me of Europe. So she wanted to really live in Boston. So we come to Boston in '98. And I'm bringing all this, what's in me that I've had since the early 50s. And it starts coming, I go to some games and it starts coming back. And then finally in 2008, I just told you about, what really happened there was I was a kid again. I was back in the early 50s in Indianapolis. I was just reliving that great spirit back then. And I talked to Coach Stevens just a couple of years ago about our both being in Indianapolis. And I said, school I went to, I told him about it, and he knew exactly where it was. I said, near Shelby and Raymond Streets. And the school was number 34.
Oh, wow.
and,
Look at
the
that.
colors of the school was green and white, so that's kind of getting me ready for, I
It
think,
was just meant to be.
for what I would experience here in Boston. So jerseys I usually wear number 5, then I got this, the KG, and then I've got 34 for Pierce. Those are usually what I wear. But awful lot of my very being really comes out when I attend a Celtics game, and it's back to early '50s, all the way back when the Celtics were just getting going. And I remember then also with Heinsohn coming on and Russell and Havlicek, and oh man, all of that. I kind of grew up with that, and I brought it with me to Boston, going to these games, seeing all these fans. Yeah, you know what it's like. You love this game and you understand it. And so there's nothing like it. You cannot express the Celtics experience. And I'm just so happy that I fit in. I inspire people. You know, they told me too, the fans have told me that makes me feel so good. They said, you make us happy. Yes, and what a way. If you got, no matter what troubles you're going through in life, you go to a Celtics game, you get around people that really care about you, and we work together because life is a struggle. And you see that on the court and that team. Sometimes it's a defeat. Well, we all lose at times, and but we come back. And how do we come back? We come back through the help of others. So I see a lot of teamwork in life because of the role model of the Celtics, and that's what that word Ubuntu all talks about. I think it's this coming together, helping each other out. You can't do anything by yourself. You need help from others to be excellent. So what can I say? Wow, huh?
Always seen your passion, but it's just so incredible to hear the story. I mean, you really are a true Celtics lifer, basketball lifer. I mean, just the way that it has been woven into your story throughout your life is it's really incredible. I mean, that's just so amazing. And just to hear from the fan perspective through the generations, how Celtics fans have always been the best fans. Just that passion, that camaraderie, that family feeling, and I mean, can't think of a better time to need that family feeling more than now. And so it's just, it's incredible to hear that really is just part of the tapestry that is the Celtics history. That's really incredible.
It is a tapestry. It's beautiful.
So, and it does kind of bring us to current times, which are incredibly strange times. It's so strange not to be at the Garden right now. It's awesome, but definitely admittedly a little weird to be having this conversation over Zoom right now. What have you been doing, if you don't mind my asking, during the hiatus, during this crisis to pass the time? What have you been doing to keep yourself active and focused?
Well, retired now from teaching. I've taught over 30 years, mostly high school, some college, teaching Greek and Latin. And so I took students to Greece. And we'd studied the Greek language throughout Greece during the summers. So I got in the habit of teaching in a bilingual way, usually referring to my students, helping them with understanding the Greek by saying, well, it's like this in Latin. So going back and forth. So talk to parents about what I'm doing, and they liked the idea, wanted the class themselves. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to create a class for lifelong learners, for adults, anyone who's interested in learning. And so much of, I think, of great ideas are so inspirational, so much that come to the heart are found in, especially in ancient Greek literature and Roman. But I'm pretty much right now working on creating this bilingual course for lifelong learners. It's been a lot of work, but I've had the time to really do something very well, I think, and fastidious. And so I'm doing that. And also being retired, I got a myriad of books that I've been collecting over the years. So a lot of reading and imagining what it would be like to talk to people about um, ideas to inspire you, to get you through life, and things like, life is a journey, uh, and so many wonderful experiences, like what I've been experiencing with Celtics games and the fans. So life is a journey, but I just kind of wonder if maybe the journey is that destination, because I've had so many wonderful people that entered my life and made me who I am. That's that word Ubuntu. One of the meanings of Ubuntu is I am who I am because of you. And I got to say, I couldn't be talking to you now. I wouldn't be wearing this. I wouldn't be, I think, doing a lot of what I'm doing now about the Celtics if it wasn't for people like yourself, the fans that I've been around. They've helped to make me who I am. Jumbotron guy, John Mitchell, says, I thanked him for putting me on that Tron. I said, man, what you done for me? He says, no, it's all you. I go, no. It's a collaboration. We do these things together. And if it wasn't for John and the cameraman, oh boy, so much of what I've experienced in life is who I am. I think the philosopher from Harvard back in the 19th century, Santayana, said that we are the sum total of all the experiences we go through and all the people we meet. They're all right in here. And that's what I encounter. Every game I go to, I meet people I've never met before. You get hugged, you shake hands, you do the fist pump with so many people I otherwise would not have met. And they tell me things about how I affect them, what I mean to them. And I feel like, man, I am part of helping them to be who they are, So this has been a time of meditation, a time of what can I do to make this world a better place, and to, as the fans are telling me, keep making people happy.
Absolutely. That's truly incredible. And, I guess it makes perfect sense, your study of words and the roots of words. You keep mentioning Ubuntu, and you have some of the best explanations of it, of anyone I've ever heard describe it. But a lot of our newer fans might not know the story of that word. People that have only been around for the Stevens era are younger fans. Do you think you could take a minute and just kind of explain what Ubuntu means, kind of its connection to the team, and please feel free to elaborate, on it further. I love hearing your descriptions of the word.
It's a major word. It's been used with bringing people together. I think it was used by Bishop Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela to try and unite the people in South Africa. And first I heard about it was 2007 summer. Doc Rivers takes his team to Rome, and so that they can bond as a team. And that's where the word Ubuntu gets started with amongst that team. I think KG may have come up with it and using it. And it's a way of, hey, we need each other. We cannot excel without the help of others. Not one of us is the player. We can only be as great as the others are too. So I saw right away then this meant working together. So going to a game, here they come. They're in the corridor before the game, and there are no smiles. They're in the circle. They're kind of jumping up and down, and it's serious. There's not a smile there, and you realize this is getting ready for combat. And they come out and they're united. And I just saw that's Ubuntu at work. And knowing this, taking my students to Greece, I had them do what are called Ubuntu sessions. And I had them work together, talk amongst themselves about translating the Greek. And because some had trouble, and there were those that could help. So I said, you guys get into Ubuntu sessions, you work things out, help each other out. And then when I come and meet with you, we'll all be learning together, So that worked well. And I had one Ubuntu session. One of the students told me, complaining thing, hey, George got us about 2 a.m. for an Ubuntu session. And so I just thought, wow, it's doing things on your own. It's democracy in action. Democracy is a Greek word meaning people power. So you guys get together. You are your own best teachers. You talk to each other. And you come to me. I'm just like you. I'm a learner also, and we talk about these things. So I started seeing the whole, the unity comes out of the individual parts. Boom, coming together. All this diversity, you come together, and whammo, what a beautiful piece you have. And so much, the whole is so much more than the individual parts together. So and that's because I think there's a spirit that's created by working together like that. That otherwise would be a non-entity. I translated, I started using the Ubuntu idea in my regular classes. So in Greek and Latin, and I had them all doing Ubuntu sessions, and the kids all really kept, they just loved the idea of an Ubuntu session. So very ancient African word, Ubuntu, but a very, very old idea of the power of the people coming together. And it's something that I would like to see used. I use it all the time. I still use it, even though it may not be used now by the current team. But it's a universal principle that really affected my life and the way I teach and the way my students were learning. So very, very powerful word. And I still will always be emphasizing it, using it in my life.
I want to shift gears for just a little bit. We've had some of your answers are incredible. I love the depth of your answers, the thought that you put into them. But we're going to switch over to a little bit of lighter topics for a moment, specifically about your name or your name in the garden. There are a lot of nicknames out there for you. Suit Coat Santa, Chest Pump Guy is obviously, a pretty popular one. But what do you prefer? What would you like to be called if you had a say in this?
Well, there's, as you say, there's so many names. I think Chris Forsberg came up with the Suit Coat Santa thing. Yep. And I've been called the Professor. I just heard recently a fan told me, yeah, when we talk about you, we refer to you as Grandpa Celtic. I've heard and I've had so many things that I keep in mind that fans say to me, and they're serious, and it almost sounds ludicrous at times. And I say these things humbly, but there are fans that say, "You're a legend." I've heard that. And let's see, I had one instance where a fan comes up to me, a young woman wants a photo with me. So, okay, and she says, my dad is going to be so jealous. He thinks you're God. He said, he's at Disney World right now. He's going to be so jealous that he's not here instead of me, So just amazing what fans have said to me, how they need me, and if I miss again, where were you? If I one time in 2008 when it was warm, very warm, so I didn't wear the jacket, and fans got all over me because I didn't wear the jacket. So I know I have to wear that no matter how warm it is, So, and I never can leave the game early. We were behind 10 points in one game through the whole game, about a minute or two to go. So I say to my wife, Margo, I say, look, we need to, let's go get to the tee, get home. And when I got up, the fans around me said, not you, yeah, you can never leave early. Yeah. You stay there to the end, So I do that from now on. But I have to see what else. I have to say that probably the name what I call myself, what I prefer is chest bump guy, because that's what I do. And that was the original KG influence, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I really value, and I'm humbled, I'm honored by the names that people have created for me. Whatever makes them happy and reflecting and talking about me, I value that. I tend to say, though, chest bump guy when I'm talking to people, you know.
Fair enough. I think that's the classic answer. So.
Yep. Yeah.
So you mentioned getting called out for not wearing the coat. The coat is
Yeah.
obviously an essential part of the character. So I got to ask, is there a story behind the coat? Where did the coat come from?
This coat goes back to the early 70s. My mom got it for me as a present. And early 70s, this is when I think Larry Bird was at Indiana State. So it's still, I'm still wearing it, a little tight, but I'm still wearing it. And I just had it relined because I ripped that lining all apart. You know, it's a bit. I've been just, you know, so much of this at the games, and I had it replaced, and I think the lining cost more than the jacket cost. But anyway, and it's got the elbow pads, you know, and so it's a real class. I love it. Also, it's got the. I've noticed. So I have another tan jacket too, but it's not. This has kind of a honey color to it. I've noticed it's very close to the color of the floor at the Celtics floor, and so I kind of feel like what I wear is kind of like what you see on the court with the maple floor, you know, and the green, of course, and the white. And so I always feel like when it goes on the when I get on the jumbotron, I feel like, yes, it just so blends in with that court, you know. And actually what you're wearing, it's the same idea, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's actually like the colors that were pulled for the suit were actually pulled from tones from the floor. So yeah, I like that. It's kind of a hardwood custom dye color. I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, and it's nice to hear that you've done some reinforcement on it, because I mean, you get into some pretty aggressive movement there in the game. Real quick on that, is there a certain technique that you could teach us, or any at-home workouts that we could be doing to prepare for return to play, so that we can all get our chest bump on when things get back?
Well, I tell you, it's one thing to understand about the chest bump. It's not so much physical. It's emotional. Okay, and you can't just show it. You got to do it. You know, you got to let it happen. And when you're at a game, usually what happens is the guys will get me on the Tron about 5 minutes to go in the game, okay? And it's close, you know. So there we are, you know, and it's the juices are going. And you wham, you know, and there's no way I could do that without that emotion at the time, you know. So those guys in the Tron, they know, you know. So there I am, whammo, you know. And so I say, to do the chest bump, you gotta have the right emotion. You gotta be experiencing something really special in your life. When that happens, whammo! I find myself all through the day doing this. When I think about things that mean a lot to me, pictures of family, dear things, you know, it's the chest bump. And that's wow. And now KG said, I am serious about this game. And when he does this to the fans, you know, that's symbolic for seriousness. And this means a lot. This is heart, this is soul. And so it's emotion. And if you don't have that emotion, there's no way you can do a chest bump.
I can feel it through the screen though. Like, you're absolutely right. It's powerful. You know, Carl, thank you so much for your time. Sarah, do you have any parting words for Celtics Nation before we sign off here?
I would say keep the love, because that's what keeps us together. That's what will make the world a better place. Love.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Carl, thank you so much for your time, sir. It's been a pleasure.